So, ladies and gentlemen, dear Saab enthusiasts, excuse us, we have to move in front of you here. Welcome again to the Saab Car Museum Festival in Trollhättan. This is definitely one of the most interesting points in our program, already on Friday. I don't know anything about what's going to happen, but our colleagues from NEVS, Frank Smith and Dominic Eberfors, will explain for you what's under this sheet here. So, the microphones are yours.
Thank you, Peter. First of all, I'd like to thank you, Peter, for inviting NEVS to the 2017 Saab Festival. Perfectly organized as usual, and very appreciated by NEVS and thousands of Saab fans across the world. I know that every Saab festival has a clear theme, and this year's Saab festival is sort of a birthday party, I understood. And since it's a birthday party, you typically bring gifts and cake. Birthdays are celebrated with gifts and cake. So, as a gift or as a sign of honor to the Saab history, we are happy and honored, Dominique and myself, to hand over NEVS' birthday present to you and your beautiful museum. Peter, dear all, please unwrap your birthday gift.
And we make an attempt.
Yes.
Shall we start from the rear or from the front?
Start anyway.
I think the rear.
Maybe you should
No, maybe from the side.
From the roof.
It's like the Eurovision Song Festival. Ladies and gentlemen, please receive the 93 Turbo Edition concept car. I mentioned we celebrate a birthday, and it's not only the year 1947 where Saab started a new era by producing beautiful, iconic cars in Sweden. But we also celebrate 1977. Not for the flower power movement, of course, but for the first Saab to be equipped with turbo power. So this is our idea of how a renewed turbo could look like.
Yeah, and this is remarkable. As you know, the theme of the festival is of course Saab Car 70 years. But since Pelle Gillbrand passed away just before Christmas last year, we changed the theme to turbo and celebrating 40 years of turbo on the public roads. And you can see there is a reason why the classic Saab 99 Turbo is parked behind this concept car. You know the Saab history, you know the origins in it. And we have been involved at the Saab Car Museum to some extent in the inspiration of this project about 2 years ago. Andreas Baramonopoulos and his team were at my desk a lot of times, and they snatched a turbo gauge, and I never received it back. So I'm very glad to see that it's located on the dashboard here. But I'm not the man who's going to explain this concept car. Of course, it's Dominic.
Before he does. This project is as you said, a few years old. It actually started 2014 when NEVS had difficulties in receiving funding to continue building our organization developing the next platform and preparing the current platform, Phoenix 1, for electric cars. So some of the work was stopped and some of the engineers had more time than usual. I have worked and I've owned a lot of Saabs since the 1980s. And I know basically every iconic model by head and its detailed features. Saab also had a lot of limited editions, I know. And the last one was the Independence edition of the convertible. Before that we had the Turbo X, but there were many more. Some were locally and some were globally. And it's actually the limited editions that gave us the idea for this project. So I thought, why don't I give a small team an impossible task?
Well, we did. Me and Frank were talking in the winter of 2017, and he told me that I would like to make a car. I would like to make a concept car that not only tributes Saab, it tributes Turbo. I would like you to be the project leader for this car. I want the car in 5 weeks, and we don't have any budget for it. Please go ahead, you will make it, it's not a problem. That's all I'll always do. I'm not 100% sure if I took the offer before or after he told me about the budget, but anyway, we started up the project. So we gathered a small team from people inside NEVS, from the mechanics to creative design, obviously, to our prototype paint shop, CAD department, our tooling department, everybody was involved. And we set up to do a task, like Frank said, is kind of impossible to do in this short time. And it has been an honor to work with people that are so dedicated and motivated to do this job, because everybody realized this would be hard. But we came to one level that we realized that we cannot do everything in-house. So we had to step outside the fences of NEVS and actually talk to former suppliers and current suppliers and ask for help. And we said that, listen, we're going to make a car. It's going to be a tribute to Saab. It's going to be a tribute to Turbo. We need your help, but we don't have any money. Will you? And everybody stepped up and said, sure, let's go ahead. Let's do this. So we started this project as a task force, more or less. We said, we need morning meetings. We're going to penetrate all the tasks we need to do for the day. We're going to assign them, and we're going to do them. And so we did. It started out with a design from our styling department, creative design, how they visualized the car to be. And then we took all the bits and pieces and we started doing the job. And there are so many things I could talk about, how we did it and what we did. To mention the grill to start with, which actually pops out as it should on this kind of car. We can talk about the new raised hood that we added. That doesn't only give the car a really smooth line from the trunk, but it also fulfills the legal requirements about pedestrian protection. It actually works. We can talk about, you already mentioned, the turbo gauge that we borrowed. We can talk about the black interior that we did, the color matched seat belts that we got hold of. We can talk about a lot of things. But there are a few things that I would like to pinpoint more, and that is what you already stole my first part here. We can restart again. And that was actually the turbo gauge. Frank came to me one day and said, hey, I borrowed the turbo gauge from the museum. We got to incorporate this in the car. This gives us the link back to the turbo and also gives us the retro feel that we want to have. Said and done, we had to change the cluster in the IP. We quickly, I'm going to say we, but of course creative design, quickly made a new design of the housing. And we also wanted to give it the most central place in the car for the driver to see. So you got the gauge back with some interest, if that is clear. The next thing that is really sticks out are the new rims that we did. Everybody that knows the Inca wheels and the Super Inca as well can see where the rings are coming from. And this is also a key point that we wanted to highlight with this car. The next step is the turbo label. Everybody that knows turbo knows the font of the turbo and the unique O, which you can see on the side stickers, as well on the trunk. And the funny thing about the trunk label or mark is that we actually made that out of solid aluminium block. So we have machined all the letters individually to make this look. And like I said, I can go on for hours about this car, but I am so glad that we got to do it. In spite of the short time and the lack of money, but with really dedicated people and skilled people, I would say, we managed. So I am really proud to be a part of this. And well, I can go on, but I'm gonna.
I think, Dominic, you should officially hand over the key to Peter.
I thought you gave it to
his
me.
machine. Sorry, no
Happy
budget.
birthday.
On behalf of all the Saab and NEVS enthusiasts around the world, thank you.
Salute. You're welcome.
We talked earlier about characteristic exhaust sound, and the best thing of all, the so much missed turbo gauge from my desk is working. I think I have to explain more. People like to have everything many times.
Yeah. If you have any questions, please ask, and I will try to explain what we did. But because there are so many features that we did with this car, to give it the unique look it has. But I can tell you a funny thing about the color, because it's quite not exactly the same, but not far from the old one. As Frank said, we didn't have any money at the time, so buying paint was out of the question. But I think a couple of years before that, they had bought some kind of test paint for Saab. And when they bought the paint, they actually bought paint for one car. But our painter managed to paint the first car with half the amount of the paint that was required. So we had, not much, the glass is half full, so to say. So we started painting the car, and the last thing that was done was the hood. And the painter put on the first layer of paint on the hood, and suddenly you saw the inner panel coming through. There was some kind of static electricity or something, I don't know what it was. But you could see a pattern from the inside. It got a bit nervous to say. He put on the second coating, same thing. He put on the third one and thought that this is it, the same thing. And we had this much paint left. And he said, if I don't manage right now with this one, we have to make the hood black. But he thought, I can't do the same thing one more time because it's going to end up in the same result. So what he did, and if it's here, excuse me if I'm wrong, but he turned the paint gun up and actually created a mist of paint coming down on the hood. And that solved the issue. And I promise you that the paint we had left, you couldn't even paint a fingernail with that. So it was just on the limit. And that is amazing. One next thing that is pretty funny actually is we approached the supplier of seatbelts. I mentioned the name. And one of my colleagues went down there and he said, we're going to make a red car. I needed red seatbelts. And they said, well, we have 3 different red colors to choose from. So you got to choose one of these. And he didn't know about the paint of the car, how it looks. So he took him out in the sunlight and had a look at different views, and then he decided for one color. And from my point of view, it actually looks like it's matched. So with a lot of skills, we also had some luck. We wanted, I'm not going to talk for much, but I can keep on going forever. We wanted the car to have really nice exhaust that matches the sound of the car. And we said that we're going to try to fill the fish as much as possible. And it was kind of impossible for us to get hold of a supplier to do this. So, with the designer created this design department, made a design, and then we took the solid block of aluminium once again, and we machined these out. And I think they came out perfectly fine. So, like I said, there are so many things to say about this car, but if you have any questions, please ask.
Maybe
Otherwise, I will never.
What we forgot to mention is limited edition. And
that is also one thing.
in the door openings sill cover, it says Turbo Edition number 000. Our imagination was we would build 1,000 of these and sell them for 407,005 Swedish kronor. I think somebody is thinking 40, 70, 05. 40 and 70 you recognize, right? 40 years turbo, 70 years Saab. And actually, 5 years NEVS this year. And we did that, or I thought that was suitable, because I think what NEVS is doing with changing from fuel-driven engines to electric motors will be celebrated in 10 years as the same legendary, iconic change as the Saab Turbo was in the 70s. So, happy birthday to us all. Thank you.
I know that all of you want to scrutiny the car in detail. Sadly, we need to have it with some ropes around it because this is a prototype. In some details are brittle. And so keep the distance, please. We will have it here the whole weekend for you to see and scrutinize, but do not go into the car and do not touch it, please. And while you're doing that, taking a look at this magnificent piece, celebrating Turbo, NEVS, Trollhättan, very, very important and a tradition. We're going to prepare a seminar with Frank in Filmsalen down there, where you are going to, well, what are you going to present?
Well, Karina, my colleague from NEVS, she was calling me an hour ago, where are you, where are you? And they started to prepare a plan B, because I actually came back from Shanghai this morning. I landed 11 o'clock at Landvetter Airport, managed to pick up my son in the south, in Varberg, and drive back, take a shower and change clothes. So the seminar will be about what we did in Shanghai during the past week. I will show a film, I will explain some details about what we showed, and I'm sure you have lots of questions on the things that you read and saw in the media over the past days. So please, welcome to the Filmsalen in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
When you are ready with the Filmsalen event, we have high-tech gimmick here in the corner below the stairs, where we in virtual reality can put you in the concept that we showed in Shanghai. So please visit Ivan and let him feel you the in-motion concept.